steel, a giant stance, a mech with heavy advanced commands, each step a quake, a thunderous might, eyes aglow in the endless night. A taint beneath, dark and vast, power fierce, shadows cast, a mighty taint beneath its core, a warrior spirit, ancient lore. Welcome tainted, a lace-up tunic or medieval hoodie. Welcome tainted, let's talk about color, or should we? Welcome tainted, thinking outside the blocks. Welcome tainted, thanks for joining us, you rock.
Welcome, Tainted, to Brickworld Chicago. Here we are, live with 0 viewers, so maybe this is a heavy replay gang type of stream, but I am one of your Brickworld hosts. Well, Brickworld live stream hosts for Think Outside the Blocks, one Mr. Z Cerberus Ben Hauger. And I am joined today with somebody very special, near and dear to my heart, one Mr. Miles J. Hauger. I don't know what you were doing there, throwing up some sort of sign and making some, okay, a peace sign, and making some sort of weird face thing, I don't know. But what is Think Outside the Blocks, for those of you who haven't joined us before? Well, Think Outside the Blocks is our official Brickworld live stream, where we come to you and talk to you about all things Lego, building mocks, thinking outside our rigid thoughts about how Lego should go together, as well as our mental blocks to create something beautiful and wonderful to display at shows such as Brickworld. But of course, all that stuff is a bunch of nonsense today. The important thing is we are live at Brickworld. We can look out onto the floor here. You can see people just milling about, working on their displays, setting them up. It's Friday now, so we're getting into crunch time. But we don't have every single display up yet, so we're still working on getting everything set and ready to go. But again, most importantly, we're here, my son's here, and we're ready to have a good time. Are we going to talk about what we've built today? Well, a little bit, but normally we would have something to display and critique and comment on. We don't really have a good setup for that today, so instead what we're going to do in our run show is we're going to talk about where we are, Brickworld Chicago, how it's going, what we like, things that we've learned, things that have been exciting for us in the short time we've been here. We're going to cover some Tainted Love. What is that? Well, who knows, but we'll get to it. We'll talk about whether or not my rover made it onto the convention floor. It was a little tight, but I guess we'll have an announcement there. Then we're going to talk about Beeline. What could Beeline be? Who knows? We're going to do a little bit of a rant. And then our next show, well, it won't be Sunday because we'll be packing up from the end of Brickworld, but eventually we will be able to stream again the Sunday after, when Mark and I both had a little rest. That show, very long last year, we brought a whole bunch of pictures that we took of all the mocks at Brickworld Chicago. So hopefully we'll be doing something like that again on the next show, but we've got a little break there. Now, this is all to say, it's 6:03 right now. I hope to get all of this done by 7 o'clock. I'm going to go upstairs and see if I can get on the panel for our favorite, or our second favorite, stream to crash, and that would be Friday Night Bricks. So we'll go see if I can do that later. So we've got a lot to cover, and a lot to cover fast. So let's start with Brickworld Chicago. Miles, what have you seen so far, Brickworld Chicago, that you've liked?
A Lego Culvers.
A Lego Culvers. You see, this is the one thing that you never know when you're going to bring a creation to Brickworld, is what is going to be exciting for somebody. My son, a big fan of Culvers, the restaurant, and he saw a mock where somebody printed a Lego sticker Culvers, and apparently that's his favorite thing in 100,000 square feet that we've seen so far.
My favorite. I liked it.
Okay, he just liked it. It wasn't his favorite.
I liked watching the train demolition derby.
Yes, we just got done with the Train Olympics. That is when they set up 2 tracks in a figure 8 type configuration that potentially converge or overlap in the middle or cross in the middle. And they count how many laps they can do. There's also some prizes for spectacular crash action, as well as how many laps you can do. After the trains crash, you have time during your 2-minute window for for total time to try to get your train back on the track and start it up again.
But the time never stops. So
Yeah,
you
your
have to
time
get it-
doesn't stop, so you
you
got
have
to
to
get
get
it up
done
there
fast.
fast. Yep. So how many laps can you do in 2 minutes? So it's a
Wow.
fun event. Miles really liked it. They had some trains this year that were very specifically built for the Train Olympics, I would say. They were very small and fast. And some of them so small and so fast, in fact, that they would just fly right off the track trying to make the figure
And
eight.
they're doing spins and stuff.
Spins and rotations when they would fly off there, yeah.
And they also built really heavy, bulky trains.
They also built some big boys to try to knock the little ones off the track. So there's some strategy involved in doing the Train Olympics. The thing I was probably most excited for is I did hit today a workshop. This one was by David Turner, and he was talking about pie bricks, which I've never used before, but I'm going to attempt to use pie bricks. We'll talk about that a little later. I had no idea where to start. It was very dense to get into it, but David gave a lot of good ideas on how to work with pie bricks. So I'm going to give it a try and see what happens there. The next question probably everyone's asking is, where's Mark? Why is it Ben and Miles today? You know, this is the other M instead of Mark. I've got Miles here. But the reason I've got Miles is because, of course, Mark runs around Brickworld like a crazy person. He's very hard to pin down, and when you do, he's always on his way to do something else. I believe he is engaging in a low sensory night activity with some kids or some people who have high sensory overload. So he's doing some stuff with that. He said he might be able to stop by a little later. So we'll see. Maybe our views will shoot up when we get to seeing Mark here. I don't have any comments at all yet. Oh, here we go. Who do I have? Look at this guy.
Hi, I'm just uploading my video.
Showing up from nowhere. I can't hear you, Mark, but that could be my fault because I'm not wearing headphones today.
Well, I'm not here, so don't worry about
Yeah,
it.
I still can't hear you.
That's fine.
Can you hear me? Do I sound good? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Thumbs up. Okay, so he can hear us. We can't hear him. Let's make sure that we've got our sound output right. Let me see here. This is live streaming live somewhere where we don't usually do it. Yeah, I mean, I think everything should be working, so I don't know. Anyway, there's Mark. He can wave hi. You can come up to the stage if you get a minute, Mark. Otherwise, you know, you do you. You do you, boo. So there he is. Like I said, hard to pin down. Always running around. Always trying to work out the technical difficulties here at Brickworld. For the most part, we do pretty well on the technical difficulty side. Yeah, so Mark is off to the Sensory Friendly Night event, as I mentioned already. So hopefully he can do some of that. Maybe he'll stop by, maybe he won't. But if he doesn't, that's fine. I have got my favorite co-host here with me, Miles, anyways. So let's talk about our second topic, which is tainted love. What's tainted love? Well, of course, being here at Brickworld, I've met several members of the Tainted, some for the very first time in person. I've seen from our comment section, I've seen Monica Berry. I've seen my best friend, Monica Berry. I have to say my best friend, Monica Berry. I've also met Team B and Team B's wife. I met several people who came up to me and said that they lurk on the stream but never comment. So we do know that there are some of those out there that aren't regular chatters, but we do hear from. And Team B, I have to mention, also brought Mark and I some care packages from Australia. We got some Vegemite, of course, and also some Australian chocolates and treats of some varieties. I also hear from Mark that Michael Fujiwara is here as well. I've also seen Fabufan Milwaukee. I've seen Darth Realgar. I've seen Hawkeye Lego Man. I've seen Supa and Hawk. So we've got lots of Tainted here. Lots of people coming up and saying hi, which has been really nice for Mark and I. Mark also managed, even after I gave him a bunch of flack for it last year, the opening ceremonies he did mention the live stream. He just had a little issue with not mentioning where or when we do the live stream. But he did show a video of Larry, of course, toppling the tower to a new music video. And so I know that's already posted to the Instagram for Brickworld, but I'm sure we will see and talk about it again because, of course, not only was it the tower crashing story, it had a new song with some new lyrics. It featured a couple of familiar faces in the video as well. So that was really cool. So anyway, love that we've seen a lot of Tainted. Love that I've met some lurkers, as they even like to call themselves, and some new friends. I see that we're up to over 900 subscribers now, so we're inching closer to that 1K mark, which will be a nice little barrier to break if we can get up there. So the next question to take a look at, and of course, how can you make that happen? Well, if you haven't already, you can like and subscribe, obviously. Get us up to that 1K mark. The rover. Let's talk about the rover. So I came to Brickworld. Miles, was my rover done when we got here? No. So what was not done with the rover?
Cockpit, the crane,
Yeah, the cockpit and the crane. The cockpit was the big one. There's absolutely no front on the white rover. But kind of what I didn't tell anyone was, I said I didn't want to say when I started it. I started that build last Tuesday. Reed, can I come up at 7? Can I come up at 7 and jump on your panel? All right, Friday Night Bricks confirmed. So there was nothing on the front of that thing. I started it the Tuesday before Brickworld. So really, since we left, or we had to leave Wednesday morning early, I did the whole thing in about a week. So it was a bit of a struggle. Those parts weren't done yet, though, so I had to do them on site, which was interesting. I brought some pieces. I don't know if I brought the right or enough pieces, but the result is pretty decent. The other thing that I didn't mention about that particular build is that, of course, there are motors in the bottom of it so that it could potentially be remote controlled. So it has motors and suspension, but I didn't know how to program those motors. I'm trying to use the more powerful, what are they called? Power-up motors. But in order to do that appropriately, I needed to learn something called Bricks, and I simply didn't have enough time. I messed around with it for a little bit, like on Monday or something. But luck would have it, I come to Brickworld, and David Turner is doing a presentation on Bricks. So I went up to the Brickworld room. We have all kinds of events at the convention for things exactly like that. And David walked through some real basics on making a Bricks program do some things. And he had a train going around a track that would sense colors and stop or slow down or move or reverse. We didn't get too deep into what I really needed for, which is programming remote control. But of course, as soon as I told David I was having some trouble with that, what did he do? He offered to come down and help me program something if I needed it. I want to kind of play around a little first to see if I can get it to work. Because it'll make the rover a little more interesting if it is actually remote controlled as well. And then when we show it on stream eventually in its completed form, we might be able to drive it around a bit, which might be kind of fun. But I did have to spend quite a bit of time slapping pieces on it, but it is finished now. What do you think of the way the rover looks now?
pretty good.
Pretty good. What would you give it out of 10? A 7 out of 10. I mean, that's,
You stayed up till 2 working on it,
Yeah, I stayed up till 2 working on it one night,
and 1:30 the other.
and 1:30 the next night to get everything set up. I'm in 2 different locations here at Brickworld if you happen to come to and try to see us. So if you end up here, I am both in section 120 and section 71. The Eurobricks collab is up at 71, and 120 is over by Influencer Alley. One of the other things we ended up doing last minute is bringing the Gudemine computer, making a return to Brickworld, because our friend Epic Bricks, Epic with a K, is streaming here live from Brickworld. He streams on Twitch and TikTok every day for 4 hours. So he's been streaming using the Gudemine, and according to him, it has been working beautifully, thankfully, here. So if you haven't caught any of Epic Bricks streams, he's been doing that every day from Brickworld here. So normally this is the part of the show where we would talk about what we're building,
Yeah,
but thankfully right now
we're not building.
we're not building anything. We are just finally ready to enjoy the hall and walk around and see what everybody else brought, not just what we have. It's a long road, the last couple months especially, to get everything ready for Brickworld when you're a displayer. I can't even imagine all of the nonsense that Mark has had to do, but it is a pretty crazy. Mark did tell me, and so we'll take a quick minute here to watch the music video, which I believe he's got up here. It is. So we're going to play the Grand Fall video that was played during opening ceremonies here at Brickworld. A new and debuting song, written of course by the ACOP Garage Band. Here we go. Let's take a look at
it. Larry's castle stood so tall, we all sat in awe. Think outside the blocks gave a round of applause. Proud and inspired, Larry showed the grand hall. Physics took over, we all watched the grand fall. Bricks failed, crashing dreams to the ground in that moment. Silence was the only, except for Mark screaming, no, 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 no. Troy was grabbing a beer, hey, what happened, bro?
I pulled a moto.
No, you didn't.
I did. Under the castle, so dragons live here, right?
Oh my god, yes.
Level 1 dungeons. We got kitchens. This is a double high. This is the grand hall.
No, 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 no.
Like the grand hall.
I believe everything happens for a reason, and maybe this reason is for you to rebuild it better, bigger and better.
Shut up, Troy. My castle just fell. There's only 6 weeks to go. I'm in a full hell. Bricks fail.
And there we have it, the debut of Castle's Fall on the live stream. Already viewed at Brickworld Chicago in the opening ceremonies. I'm not sure how Mark actually got Mumford and Sons to perform it, but there it was. He did it. Castle's Fall. First time here on Think Outside the Box. I've got to say that compared to any Lego mock Mark might ever work on, I love the songs 100 times more. They make me chuckle every time. There are so many good lines in that one. And I really enjoyed it. So there we had it, the big grand debut of Castle's Fall, performed by the ACOP Garage Band and possibly Mumford and Sons. I'm not sure. But let's see here. Next on the stage, we know that I managed to get the rover done. Some late nights and some patience from my son. Now we're going to talk Beeline. What could Beeline possibly be? Miles, what's Beeline?
New set.
A new set. Of course, we talk about the Lego news here on Think Outside the Box. And here is what we're talking about. Bumblebee Transformer Lego set. This would be the second one that we've seen in the Transformer line. We've also had previously got some noise up here in Influencer Alley, but we'll power through here. Second Transformer set that we've seen come out. Bumblebee is probably after Optimus Prime, the most iconic, I would say, of the good guy Transformers. And Lego, apparently hearing us, has decided to make one. Only 950 pieces, which seems a little light. So I'm guessing the model is relatively compact. I don't know if people will see that as a good or a bad thing. But the one thing I will mention, of course, is the color. What would Mark say about the color? He would say this: too much yellow. Not a fan of yellow. Doesn't like yellow. Bumblebee, of course, he's yellow. You can't avoid it. He's very yellow. So we're gonna have some Bumblebee here. Another look at him in car form. Very, very cute, of course. He resembles, it looks like a bit of a VW Volkswagen here. He's got a Bumblebee in the windshield there. Little tile Bumblebee, which is kind of cute. What do you think of this version of the Mach, the non-transformed version?
Looks like what Bumblebee would turn into.
And it looks like what Bumblebee would turn into. Yeah, he's not the super sports car-y version. He's more of the sort of a softer version of Bumblebee here, not a hardcore one. We're streaming. That's Nate Epic Bricks. He's hanging out here. He's gonna have some dinner up on the stage while we continue our little live stream here. So, like I said, Nate, he's been streaming 4 hours a day. He deserves a nice little break here for a little bit of dinner. Let's see here. Here's some pictures of the box art, which of course are showing the main feature, which is the transforming feature. So the model says model converts right on there. They must have had their AI generated disclaimers going when they took the picture. It gave us a little model converts button on there. So there you can see how to transform Bumblebee, and there's a lifestyle shot apparently right on the box. You get to see Bumblebee standing on a shelf. How exciting is that for Bumblebee? He gets a lifestyle shot right on his box. Looks like he doesn't take too many steps to convert him here, but who knows if that's truly the case. But there he's going to be finally in robot mode, which is the final picture here. And what do you think of this picture, Max? It just looks like Bumblebee. That's all Miles has to say.
Not that many stickers.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it's too stickered. He only has the one in the middle of the chest there. I'm guessing, based on the look of it, that is a printed tile. I'm sure everyone is going to want it to be a printed tile. One thing that I know Mark and I would notice right away is that he's got those hot dog finger like looking pieces. They're an individual piece. They're not a hot dog piece. They are a specific piece that's been sort of used as a finger piece over and over in Lego sets recently for Max. Neither one of us are big fans of that piece. They kind of look creepy, quite honestly. But I think they come to a bar end point, and that's why Lego likes them, is they can potentially have another connection point. But they always kind of have creeped me out. And maybe it's intentional, maybe it's not, but his face is very 2D and flat. I think the face on Optimus was far better built up. This one just, again, appears to be a printed tile of some sort. So outside of the Transformer tiles, it looks like we also have a couple tiles on the legs that may be printed or stickered, probably printed. Bumblebee's face, and then that bit right above his head. That's about it. So not a lot of stickers, not a lot of extra detail needed. Looks like there's some pretty decent shaping to the car when it's converted. And a pretty interesting robot here. I don't know how flexible he is because it doesn't look like he has any knee joints. Do you think he's got any knee joints in their mouths? No, it looks like he'd be pretty stiff. And who knows, that might be relatively consistent with what a Transformer would look like from the toy series. I don't know, but he's got pretty stiff legs sitting there, so that's a little disappointing. Gotta ask. I see Nate sitting over here eating some food there. Where'd we get the burger?
The food truck.
The food truck. So another cool thing about Brickworld Chicago the last couple years, we've had food trucks, and so they're not necessarily the same every day, but it looks like we've got some big tasty burgers out there today that someone can pick up and grab at the food truck. So I don't know what else to say about Bumblebee. I think this model of the car itself, I like. Actually, I think it looks pretty good. You know, I'm not giant into yellow. I'm not giant into just models of cars. But this particular one is pretty nice, I would say. Again, it's not necessarily. All right, yeah, it's not necessarily the model that most people will display them. I'm sure most people will want it in converted mode, not in car mode. But between the two, this is the one I prefer. How about you, Miles?
Yeah.
You like this over
Yeah.
the transformed one?
Yeah. I just don't really like his face.
Yeah, you think it's the face that's sort of a little distracting on him?
Face.
Yeah. I got a comment today. Ooh, got a comment from Brickmaster G saying hi. Hi, Brickmaster G. I don't know if you're in Chicago, Brickmaster G, or if you're just joining the chat today, but welcome to The Tainted and to Think Outside the Box. Don't recall seeing any comments from you in the past, but here we are on our special episode, live from Brickworld, Chicago. It looks like the influencer alley's cleaned out a little bit today, and I think that's because they're headed out to medieval times. Medieval times. There's several medieval times around the country, but one right here in Chicago where
like
you
5
can,
minutes away.
like 5 minutes away from the hotel here, where they have dinner. You have to eat it with your fingers, which
It's like half chicken.
half a chicken, Miles says. You have to eat it with your fingers, then you can watch some jousting and some tournament fighting. Our night one, we went for Miles' birthday, so that was really exciting for him.
On Wednesday.
On Wednesday, yeah. So that was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
What do you think this set is going to sell for, Miles? So if you saw this set, found out it was 950 pieces, what do you think would be a reasonable price to pay for it? Give me an idea. What do you think it should cost?
Well, what
What did Optimus cost?
Yeah.
I don't even know.
What does Optimus look? How many pieces did Optimus have?
Optimus Prime, if we look him up here, was a lot more pieces. He seemed to have. Let's see here. Let's search for Optimus and see what he rings up as. But whether you know that or not, I still want to get an idea of what you think that Bumblebee set, after you've gotten a good look at it, should be worth.
What size do you? What size?
Well, he's 950 pieces. That's about all I can tell you for sure.
Yeah.
Not Optimus up here, but he's. Here we go.
Australia. Whoa.
Yeah, it looks like Optimus was $180 or so. And he was, let's see here, 1,500 pieces for 180 bucks. So what are you thinking? So 100. So think about this. So if it was 1,500 pieces, Bumblebee's a little more than half the number of pieces at 950. 180 bucks. So what do you think we should ring in Bumblebee at?
I was gonna say 90.
90 bucks, Miles says. He is right on the money. I don't know if he cheated and looked over at the website when I had it open here, but he is exactly right. It is a $90 set, and it looks like it is set for release 18 plus. They have on here for 90 bucks.
July 1st.
July 1st, so just a month away.
Yeah.
Lego's continuing to release at least a couple sets every month while they're in between the various main releases.
A lot of rovers lately.
A lot of rovers lately. Yeah, that's indeed been the theme of the year. Of course, I built one in honor of the fact that it was a full year of rovers from Lego. They came out in March. They came out in January. They just keep coming out with
like a new set season thing.
Yeah, they are also releasing, and I don't know if you know this, like a space buggy as well. So they have even yet another rover on the way. So you can't help the pure number of rovers that are out there. My son's waving wildly because joining us in the audience, she doesn't even know I'm about to put her on camera. It's Z's spouse. There she is. Z's spouse just got back from the zoo. So there's lots of stuff to do here in Chicago. My daughter Mara, who's creeping up over here, she's trying to stay out of the camera, it seems like. Mara, you haven't been on stream before. You want to come on stream? Okay. Mara got to do a penguin encounter at the zoo today. I saw a video of you petting a penguin. How cool is that? Okay, and here she is. My 8-year-old also collabed with me at Brickworld. Little Miss Mara right here. How was the zoo? Good. Yeah. You got to get your face all the way in here so we can see you, girl. Yeah, you gotta lean over so we can hear you on the mic. All right, Mara, what do you think of Brickworld? What's your favorite part? The Great Ball Contraption. That's Mara's favorite. Yes, we didn't even talk about the Eurobricks collab. I don't know if I'm allowed to spoil anything. I think we're probably gonna have to wait on what the Eurobricks collab is until after the show. If you're already here at the show, you've probably walked by and seen it. But if you haven't, we'll give a little reveal in our post Brickworld wrap-up show in a couple of weeks. So again, this is going to be a fast stream now. I didn't even know I was going to be joined by both Miles and Mara, but we were going to go into who's complaining and what's who's complaining. That's usually where Mark and I spend a minute ranting about a random topic. And I'm kind of thinking that it might be interesting to know if my kids have anything about the Lego community that they would seriously like to complain about. I don't know if this is wise. This could be super dangerous to give them a platform to say anything because they're both, children who just don't understand the save falls. But if I told you guys that I wanted you to complain about something in the Lego community, what would it be?
Orange ships.
My orange ships. All right.
Do you not like the color orange?
Yeah, so here goes Mara. If you don't know, Z Cerberus, me, on my Instagram, I have an entire fleet of orange ships. But my daughter Mara has a problem with my orange ships. I want to know what that problem is. So,
personally, like
hold on,
your
let's see if I can get this. Second screen lost power there for a second. We're trying to bring it back up so I can give Mara a minute to complain about the orange ships. We're back up and running. Okay, Mara. So what Mark and I like to do is we like to put on a little music. And while our music is on, which is called a piece of cake here, I start the timer. And I'm going to give you 1 minute to complain about Daddy's orange spaceships. So let's start the music, and then we'll do it. Piece of cake.
First of all, keep making them, which is making it really weird, Yeah. And you put computers in them, which is kind of weird and it's cool. I mean, and you put something on them, you got computers in them. Look how much
The two options, yeah. Continue.
the orange with too much orange. Even if there's mouse over there. What do you mean?
Just let her finish. Let her finish.
And then kind of boring.
Okay, there it is. Mara unloading on Daddy. She says Daddy's orange ships are Not enough colors. They're all the same size. They're kind of boring. What else did we hear?
And they don't have names.
They don't have names. That's not true. They do have names.
Okay, tell me.
Well, each one has a name. That one's called the blockade breaker. The one that's here.
They need real names.
They need real names.
They need like
What do you call one with the computer in it?
That one's the horizon.
they need real names like Susan.
Susan. That is a real name.
Yeah.
That is indeed a real name.
Ben.
And Ben. I
And
need to
Miles.
rename my ships basically after people in our family. It's kind of what I'm hearing here.
And Petunia.
And Petunia.
Junior.
That's a good choice.
And
Petunia. Well, we've let Mara give her rant, and I'd say that was a pretty good rant, Mara. Daddy's orange ships take too much time. They don't come in a range of sizes. There's not enough colors. They're kind of weird, and they don't have real names.
And they're boring.
And they're boring. Also, we need to decide whether they should all have computers or none of them should have computers. There's no in between. In Mara's opinion, that's it. All we do is we put computers in them, or we don't. All right, Miles, are you gonna have something you think you're gonna be able to do a rant about here?
I love Brickworld.
Well, you love Brickworld. Is there anything about the Lego community, like the prices or finding pieces or anything else you want to complain about? Mara's got a suggestion here. I gotta know what it is before I put this on the live stream. Oh, absolutely, we're doing this one. Okay, Miles, are you ready?
Mara's idea.
I'll do
She
it.
can play
I'll do it with him.
Okay, we're ready to do this one. This is going to be my favorite rant of all time. Here we go. Piece of cake. We're going to start playing it, and then my kids are going to rant about our friend Dale Klein, who cheats at golf. Here we go. Go ahead, kids.
So, Dale, right? My dad says that he cheats at golf. And 1 year for Kansas City, he put it on a huge mosaic wall and all over his display. And so, yesterday, he cheated at golf, and he says he did it.
Did you know where we
I've never golfed with Dale because he's a cheater.
How do you know?
That's a well-known fact.
I know, yeah.
Who made it up?
Nobody made it up. It's a fact.
Well, who? Question
Ah.
for you.
It's like who invented the idea that Dale cheats at golf?
Yeah.
I don't know that anybody did. I think we just all know he cheats at golf.
Yeah.
Okay.
You just know sometimes.
Yeah. And his ninjas are boring.
Oh, Mara throwing down at the last second with Dale, who likes to hide ninjas in his display.
And there's only 10 of them. There should be more.
We don't have enough ninjas on Dale's display. That should have been a complaint worth having,
And it should be bigger.
and it should be bigger.
It's huge.
But if you come to Brickworld Chicago, you can see Dale's gold crest. Actually, if you come to just about any Brickworld show, he manages to make it to just about all of them. It is a giant Lego castle with a village scene,
Yeah,
as well as a jousting tournament going on in front of it. I don't know how long it is anymore. I'm sure Dale could tell us if we went up and looked at his gold crest banners, but it's, probably, I don't know,
Pretty big.
yeah,
It should be double
2-3
the
feet
size.
wide and 15 feet long, 20 feet long. I don't know. It's pretty big.
Double times the size.
Mara wants it double the size, which is something we often tell Dale, is that we want him to produce more of the Dale Castle.
Always the same.
It's not always the same. He has made improvements over the years.
It's always mostly the same.
Yes, but there it is. You know what else I want to complain about?
What?
All right, why don't you have a seat so I can get my rant going here? You guys can tell me whether or not this rant makes any sense at all, or whether you think that I'm complaining about nothing. And you guys can be the judge on if my complaint is a positive complaint
Or a negative.
or a negative complaint.
Okay. What's the
I'm sure it's going to be negative because in the nature of complaining, complaints in general are negative.
What's the complaint about?
What should it be about?
I don't know.
Give me a whisper.
I don't know.
Do your complaint.
Give it to me. Okay. This rant is coming from the mind of Mara, but it completely makes sense that I could do this rant, and so I will. All right, I've got a bone to pick with somebody. And this bone that I have to pick with someone in the Lego community is one Mrs. Z's spouse. My wife, she came here to Brickworld with a fancy display that she wanted to put up. But not only did she not take it out of the box correctly or the bag correctly, she didn't put it up correctly, which went to show 100% why our collaborative, which is titled Collabing with My Non-Lego Spouse, is what it has to be. Because she doesn't build anything. She only does one thing. And what's that, guys? The money. She's the purse. She provides the money for my Abbott. And let's be honest, if she would stop funding it, I would have to stop building. So really, she is to blame for every mock failure I have ever had. And because of that, I'm complaining that Z's spouse is the problem in my Lego building life.
Realize if she hears this, she will stop giving you the money.
You think so?
Yeah, dude.
You think so?
Hey, Mom. You didn't.
Yeah, well, we got a comment from somebody named Z's spouse. She's giving me the I'm thinking about that.
What did
thought.
it say? Let me see what the comment says.
She's
What does
thinking,
the comment say?
that's a good point.
These guys. Oh.
We also have a hello from Ralph Nader, or our friend alternate candidate, dropping by the very brief live stream. We're trying to wrap it up in under an hour, and it looks like we're going to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Because we got to some high quality complaints there. And it only took 40 minutes to get through everything we needed to cover. So that was a pretty exciting stream. I wasn't expecting to have two little Z's on the spouse today, but here they both are.
Two little Z's on the spouse?
On the show today, plus my spouse.
We should have one more Lego complaint. I have one more complaint.
Another complaint?
Yes.
You seriously have another one?
Yes.
Look at this. I got another comment coming in from Avera saying, hello, Haugers. This would be my friend Jason. You guys have met down when we went to Houston. Mara, you were just a baby. I don't know how much you remembered that. But you were down there. Well,
I remember sticking my feet in
well,
the
hold
ocean.
on. I need to hear what the complaint is about before I decide if this can go out over the air. Let's hear it.
I don't think you're gonna like it, but
Well,
it's still gonna go.
Well, let me hear. Okay, this one
I want to help.
could
I need
be
to help.
He's helping.
classic on this one.
Can
But
we
we're
have
going to
2
say
minutes?
no. You're still just getting 1 minute. That's the rules on the complaint cycle. Here we go.
Okay.
All right.
So, it's like 5 days after Brickworld, and then you start your building again. You still don't finish it all by next year. And it's annoying because you spent half your life in the Lego building.
Because we had to do so many things without you.
Like what?
We went to the soccer game with Maddie and such and such. And we went to the zoo without you. And we went to plenty of other stuff.
Like what?
I can't.
Usually we go somewhere. We go somewhere, and it's like their father comes, but then it's like, where's Ben? Oh, he's working on Lego.
Yeah. Even like the day for Brickworld. You know?
Mm-hmm.
And you just spend too much time about this stuff.
Okay, there it is.
Lego.
My kids
Lego.
officially complaining that I spend too much time building Lego. That's perfect for a Brickworld stream. It's for my kids to talk about how I spend too much time building and not enough time going to soccer games with them.
No,
I would like to state publicly, at least, that I think I'm a fairly dedicated father. I attend your sporting events. Even though it was Brickworld, I brought Mara to her first lacrosse game.
Yeah, because who would have done it if mommy was there?
Probably mommy, but she wasn't there. Now, was she?
You really only bring up this stuff when mommy's not there.
I see.
Dad brings me to football because he's the coach.
Because I'm the coach. Yeah, so it sounds to me like all around what I'm hearing here is that there's a problem in the Lego house, in the Hauger Lego household, and it's me and it's Z's spouse. It's neither of my adorable children.
Just
Though
so
when
you
they're
know,
when they're not on stream, we'll see if the complaints change.
really, Dad. I mean, he has 2 whole.
Yeah.
Well, Dad,
Yeah.
maybe next live stream you should bring us on and ask us if we still have more complaints or anything.
Maybe I will. Abera says rough feedback for Father's Day weekend. Yeah, Brickworld's always Father's Day weekend, and there's nothing like hearing your kids are disappointed in you right before Father's Day.
I had one complaint. Mara's complaining about everything. I just said that you work on Lego too much.
Yeah. Well, and in fairness, the reason they're complaining is because they want to spend more time with me.
Yeah.
So I guess that's
Because
not so
he's
bad.
an amazing father when he's not working on Lego.
Yeah. Good job, son. I'll buy you a minifig later. All right.
Oh,
So.
and Daddy, I need to tell you something. I forgot.
Okay, perfect. So here we go. So we've finished who's complaining. That was a little interesting. I wasn't expecting to get so many complaints and so many of those complaints. But now let's talk about our next show. I'm going to hop up to join the Friday night Bricks live stream. No, you cannot, Miles. You're not on that panel. But Sunday we are going to be having the closing ceremonies here at Brickworld. Mark and I are not going to be available to stream. We're going to have to make sure that the hall gets unloaded and all of our mocks get packed up. And, Mark's already running around like he has 265 million things to do. He's definitely going to have even more things to do on Sunday night. So we're going to take that Sunday off. We'll be back the Sunday after. We won't be so shotgun on that one. We'll have our regular run of show, and I'm sure we will do a Brickworld decompression. I'm sure we will show lots and lots of mocks because we have 100,000 square feet. You can see I have the camera up again, just showing out into all of the displays that are everywhere. It's actually angled in such a way that you can't see the orange spaceship that Mara complained about that I have on display. But if you're in the area and you want to see what's at Brickworld Chicago, again, stop by. I'll probably be in either section 71 or 120 if you want to say hello and talk about the stream. If you go to section 71, you'll see the collaborations that I did with all 3 of the family members, Mara, Miles, and my wife, Z's spouse. So we'd be more than happy to chat Lego with you if you come by. We'll all be sitting together and having some fun here at Brickworld. I think to do the outro today, right here, we are going to go back to our song that we played earlier, debuting the Grand Fall. Here it is, the Grand Fall, debuting this week on Think Outside the Blocks, Larry in the Tower, the Grand Fall. Here we go.
Larry's castle stood so tall, we all sat in awe. Think Outside the Blocks gave a round of applause. Proud and inspired, Larry showed the grand hall. Physics took over, we all watched the grand fall. Bricks fail, crashing dreams to the ground. In that moment, silence was the only except for Mark screaming, no, 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 no. Troy was grabbing a beer, hey, what happened, bro?
I pulled a moto.
No, you did.
I did. Under the castle, so dragons live here, right?
Oh my god, yes.
Level 1 dungeons. We got kitchens. This is a double high. This is the grand hall.
No, 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 no.
And like the grand hall.
I believe everything happens for a reason, and maybe this reason is for you to rebuild it better, bigger and better.
Shut up, Troy. My castle just fell. There's only 6 weeks to go. I'm in a